I feel like I am officially right back in there in that Vlogmas mode, which I am really enjoying. I feel like there's so many aspects of Vlogmas that I loved last year, and I'd actually forgotten how much I enjoyed it. I really like picking out little snippets of things I think people are going to enjoy, but I also really love the editing stage of putting it all together to make a little small vignette of my day. I'm gonna start today by doing my advent calendars because I'm excited and I wouldn't mind having a cup of tea, funnily enough. I've got my cozies tea advent calendar that I'm gonna start with. And day 2 is here underneath the yoga studio, which seems appropriate. I did some yoga already this morning. And today it's a jasmine scented green tea. I do love a jasmine tea. I feel like there's just this beautiful smell. You see me trying to smell these tea bags, but I don't actually smell anything from the tea bags. But when you open this up, there's just a really wonderful, just rich tea smell, just like a whole variety of tea you get all at once. And it's bringing me a lot of joy. All right, time for my fabric godmother calendar now. Day 2. All right, so the tip of the day is making me feel excited about what might be in here. It says, save your wooden thread spool to store bias binding and ribbons. I do love storing my bias binding on thread spools. Hadn't done it with ribbon though. That's a really good idea because then I can put it on my thread spool holder and it's pretty as well as functional. But we've got something else wrapped in the tissue. I am collecting tissue paper. I tell you, this is going to come in handy for all of the gifts that I make and give people over the years. Wow, this feels special. This feels really special. It's a wooden thread spool, which I mean, I've not had any apart from ones that my mom had that were really, really old. It's 100% organic cotton thread. So this would actually theoretically be really good to use for my bowl cozies, but I've already got some light gray cotton thread that I feel like is just going to blend in. But I actually feel like I need to save this for something a little bit more special. It's black, which is a perfect color. You can always use black thread. But this feels so luxurious. Very fancy. I'm having some soup for lunch and I'm using my bowl cozy, so it seemed like a good opportunity to show you guys how this works. So the bowl cozies, these are made from cotton fabric, cotton quilt batting, and cotton threads. So they're microwavable, so you can actually put the whole bowl into the microwave to heat something up, and then you've essentially got like a pot holder when you take it out. But the bowl cozy stays around the bowl, and then you can use it just to hold the bowl while you're eating, and it means that it's going to keep your hands from getting hot, but it also helps to keep the food warm. And I know you can also use them in the summer for ice cream, but I would say I tend to use them more in the cold months for some nice warm food. It is a lovely winter's day. I am off with my husband to the Finnish church, so Finnish as in from Finland. They are running a Christmas fair, which used to be part of a Scandinavian Christmas market that I used to go to. It's all a lot smaller scale now, but I know that they've had some really nice stuff at that church in the past. So I'm hoping I might get some goodies, and at the very least, it'll be Christmassy, so I'm sure you guys can enjoy it. was a bit of a disappointment, but I think it was worth going just to see. There was Christmassy stuff. I just feel like there wasn't as much handcrafted stuff as there was when I was here before. So, you know, always worth a try. You never know what you're gonna find, but back home again for us. We are on our way to the local pet shop. The main aim is to pick up a Christmas present for my brother and sister-in-law's dog who we'll be seeing on Boxing Day. But also, they have little animals and they just bring joy. So we're gonna have to have a little snoop around and see what furry friends we can find. We're picking up some tools and we saw some mega Christmassy stuff I had to show you guys. I'm just stitching a big X through, so basically from one diagonal to the other. I'm just eyeballing it. I'm not pinning it, I'm not marking it. It's gonna be the bottom and the inside of a bowl cozy, I think. It's gonna be fine. And it's the first candy cane of the season, guys. So my plan had been to just batch them basically, so I was gonna do the same step over and over again, but I kind of want to finish one just so that I can remind myself how it all comes together, so it can help me to get a bit more of a vision. This is a small version for little 3-year-olds in my life, so it's a little mini one, a bit smaller than the other ones. So I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up this bowl cozy, and then I can carry on with the batching with all the other ones. So this is a finished bowl cozy. It's small because it's for a little kitty. It's for a little 3-year-old, like I said. So I thought it would be cute. The one side, and it can be the inside or the outside, doesn't matter. One side has got some rainbows. So it's the nice sky, and then the back is more like a night sky with some shooting stars. And you can choose whichever one you want to be the inside or the outside. But I think that is super cute. Would fit a little small bowl quite well. And now I can go on and make my adult sizes. I'm glad to have made some progress on those bowl cozies. I didn't get too much further than what I showed you as far as doing some of the other batch sewing, but that's just because time got on. I had to make some dinner, and I did at least, I feel like, break the back of that project. I've made a start, which is really good. I don't know if I mentioned already, but this pattern came from the Helen's Closet blog. I'll put a link to it down below if you're interested in making the bowl cozies. As far as the child size versions, the one I made for the 3-year-old, I just kind of shrunk the one that I would use normally for an adult down by a couple of inches or so. I didn't actually measure it. I just thought, that looks a bit smaller and it seems right and it seems to fit a small bowl. So I'm definitely going to be going with that. As far as the other ones I've managed to sew together, so I wanted to prioritize in general all the ones I need to ship abroad. So I have a lot of family living in different countries and I need to get things sewn up and shipped out. So my 3-year-old friend's son, I also wanted to then work on the one for my best friend from Chicago and her husband because they're all in the same household. I thought I could get theirs all sewn up. So I've managed to sew together the 2 halves of each of their bowl cozies. I don't think Deanna watches this vlog. If you do, I'm sorry for the spoiler. Just pretend you don't remember and you'll probably have forgotten by Christmas time. But these ones are, as far as like the basic part stitched together, and then one more that is for another relative. So I do have quite a few still to make. I think I'm making 26 in total. So I've got a few to work through, but at least, like I said, I've kind of made a start on it, which is the key. I wanted to also just show you what my knitting project is because I am going to be working on this here and there over Vlogmas, and I showed you some footage of me working on it earlier. I'm making a sock. So this is a sock pattern that I've made before. The yarn itself is really the standout thing though. The yarn is just so gorgeous. This color is called Lipstick. I'm making the I'm So Basic sock by Summerly Design. So I've gotten, this is the cuff, and I've gotten to the point where I've turned the heel. And then I'm just starting to bring it together to make it sort of the foot of the sock. And this yarn was actually yarn that I got, well, I want to say it's for free, but it was basically a replacement. So last year on my advent calendar from Made by Penguins, I had actually asked for sock yarn, sock weight yarn, but she had accidentally sent DK weight yarn. And I messaged her and said that she sent the wrong thing, but because they make all of their advent calendars so far in advance, she didn't have one of the sock ones to send me. So what she said is she'd be happy for me to just keep the DK weight yarn that I ordered, and she would send me 2 full skeins of the sock yarn, so enough to make 2 pairs of socks. And I was happy with that plan, and I worked through my DK weight yarn. I still have a little bit more left over, but I did want to get something sewn up as far as the socks. So this is something I'm going to be definitely working on here and there. It's coming together great. I really do love this yarn. I love the color, and I feel like this yarn is just a really beautiful, lovely, soft quality, and I think I'm going to be enjoying wearing this one for years to come. So that is me really for tonight. We've just had some dinner. We had some chicken tacos and Mexican rice, which is always going to be a big hit in this household. We are going to have just a bit of a hangout and a chill, probably watch something on Netflix. I'll have a cup of herbal tea. We'll try to get to bed a little bit earlier. I ended up staying up very late last night. I need to mention this to you guys. My Advent candle, the day 1 section, took forever to burn down. There was a little bit extra on top of the number 1 compared to the other days, but I'm not kidding. I think that probably took 5 hours just to get down the number 1. So we ended up staying up really late, just trying to get it all melted. Today, when I was burning day 2, I felt like this is going to take a while. I can light it, I can go do some other things, come back and check on it. I went and I was making dinner, and at some point I came back in to check on the candle, and I've gone a significant bit into the number 3, so I'm sorry for that, guys. I will try to be much more careful. Now that I know it's going to burn down much faster, I'm going to be very vigilant, and hopefully you won't see any more half-burnt days. You might not really notice as much for today, but you're probably going to notice for tomorrow when I light day 3 and it's already a good portion of the way burnt down, but you know, it's a bit of fun, and I'm sure you guys wouldn't judge me for it. I gotta live my life, right? I really hope it was fun to see a little bit of a day in the life today. Went out, did a few bits and pieces, and I'm looking forward to having a nice relax at home. I hope you guys are having a nice relaxed time wherever you are and whatever you're doing, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.